Hi, my name is Lynn from L&J Goods. Thank you so much for joining us here today for two of my very favorite projects I've ever done. They're perfect for fall, but the techniques I'm sharing are also going to be great for any other projects that you decide to do. So let's get started on the clay tiles. Using a scrap piece of lumber that we cut up into thirds, some IOD molds, and Jovi terracotta color air dry clay. For this project, I'm using Jovi air dry clay in the terracotta color. I start by creating a base layer with the clay on one of my wood blocks. Use the IOD brayer to flatten it out to about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then trim off the excess from the sides. Gently peel back that base layer and set it aside. Now we're going to glue it in place with Pentart Heavy Body Gel. I love using the Pentart Heavy Body Gel for gluing clay because it tends to minimize shrinking and cracking. However, with these pieces, if you look back, I applied the clay in pieces and parts so that I could maybe encourage a little bit of cracking for this project. Set the base layer back into the heavy body gel and press it in place to fully adhere. For the ornamentation, I'm using some IOD molds. This is Veridis. And you'll notice that I'm not being particularly neat about how I apply the clay into the mold. I want this to be a very rustic and aged look. So I don't mind if there are some raggedy edges. In fact, I'm encouraging that. For the next tile, I'm using the IOD Acanthus mold, casting just partial pieces of those scrolls. I'm going to let them overlap the edges and then trim away the excess because I really want these to look like they are ancient old tiles that have been broken off of some antique relics. For the third tile, I'm still using the Acanthus mold, using the shell shaped casting to apply repeated pattern onto the clay tile background. Again, these are a very messy casting, and I'm applying them so that they overlap the edges of the outside of the tile, as if this was a salvaged piece from an ancient building. Glue all of the details onto the clay background and then allow these to dry completely. The next day, all of the Jovi air dry clay is completely dry. You can see that some of the heavy body gel residue is left around the outside of those clay castings. So I am going to seal each of the pieces with Fusion's Matte Tough Coat so that they have a consistent matte finish over the surface. I've painted the outside edges with Fusion's cast iron paint. In order to create that lovely ancient aged effect, I'm going to apply some different layers of finish. This is Pentart Antique Gel in the color chocolate. Apply it generously over the surface of your clay tile and allow that to sink down into all of the detail and especially down into those cracks. Have a damp paper towel, a baby wipe, or any wet lint-free rag available so that you can wipe away the excess glaze before it dries. Add additional layers of glaze as needed to create some deeper tones around the outside of the embellishments and around the outside edges of the tiles. But I'm not done yet. There's still more finishing to do. I used a little bit of Debbie's DIY white wax just to skim over the top surface of each of the tile embellishments. Allow it to sit for several minutes and then buff away the excess. For one final touch, add just a touch of Fusion's Lichen paint in random spots around each of the tile details. You really want to do this sparingly. I'm using Alumilite quickset resin in black to create the castings for this piece. I cast several of the pomegranates from the new IOD cornucopia mold. And I'm also using a retired Hello Pumpkin mold. I'm casting the large pumpkin for my project and also several of the leaves. Of course, you want to use all safety precautions and follow the manufacturer's instructions. If you have a little bit of excess over the edge of the mold casting, just remove it with your fingernail while the casting is still soft.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden.
This is a decorative wood frame that I purchased from a craft store. I've painted the outside with Fusion cast iron, and I've painted the inside with Fusion's casement paint. I'll also be using the IOD ephemeral type stamp and some Debbie's DIY paint. I've pulled out the colors Fancy Farmgirl, Summer Crush, Liquid Sunshine, and Weathered Wood just in case I need it for additional shading. I'm about to show you one of the fastest, easiest ways to apply the Debbie's DIY paint to a resin casting for a blended look. First, I did a little mix of the Summer Crush with the Liquid Sunshine just to brighten up the orange. Pick up a little bit of paint, remove the excess so you're working with a drier brush, and just lightly brush over the surface of the casting. It's okay if you get it on the leaves or in other areas where you don't think there should be orange, because it's going to all add to that beautiful blended look that we're going for. You want to skim your brush over the surface of the details and allow some of that black that's in the crevices of the casting to show through. If you need to apply additional layers for more color depth, allow each layer of paint to dry completely before dry brushing the next coat. And remember to keep your brush drier so that you don't reactivate the paint that you have already applied.
Golden, golden things. Mount Laurel High.
Here I'm mixing a little bit more of the yellow into my orange paint and applying that over the surface along one side of the pumpkin to create additional highlight and brightness. The DIY paint is going to lighten as it dries, but after we apply the finish, it will deepen into the original tone. Use the same technique to apply Fancy Farmgirl to the leaves and stem. You can touch up any areas that you need to with a smaller detail brush. I allow this paint to dry for at least 24 hours before applying a top coat. You can use the top coat of your choice. I chose Fusion Ultra Guard in the satin finish. Using the same dry brush technique, I'll paint the pomegranates with Debbie's DIY Marquee and the additional leaves from the Hello Pumpkin mold with Fancy Farmgirl.
Laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird.
Another finishing technique that I like to use is Pentart's Varnish Mist. It works great for misting over the Debbie's DIY paint without reactivating it. Set these aside to dry. To create the background on my frame piece, I grabbed a piece of tissue paper from the front of the shop. This is just regular white retail tissue paper. Then I stamped IOD's ephemeral type stamp with IOD's Black Ink to the tissue paper. This is a great technique for when you do have that recessed area where you want to apply a stamp, but it's going to be difficult to navigate inside the frame. You can also use this technique when you're using the IOD arched gallery blanks or the oval gallery blanks. I use my thumbnail to create a crease around the edge of the inside of the frame. I did this several times until the tissue paper started to tear away. You can also just create the crease and then cut the tissue out with scissors.
Golden things.
Decoupage the tissue paper onto the frame. I used Pentart's decoupage varnish and glue. This tissue paper is very fragile, so when it gets wet, it gets fussy. You'll see that I made a little mistake by being too heavy-handed with my brush, and I pulled away just a bit of that tissue paper. But it's such an easy fix when you're using this type of a technique. I simply tore away another little piece of the stamped tissue paper to fit that space and glued that in place. It's an easy fix and one that you will never notice. I allowed this decoupage to dry completely and then applied another coat of decoupage varnish and glue over the entire surface. After that dried completely, I went in with Pentart's antiquing gel in chocolate, thinned it out with water, and then applied that over the surface, wiping away the excess with a baby wipe. After the background had completely dried, I'm ready to glue all of my castings in place. I'm using Pentart's Heavy Body Gel to the back of the casting. I also like to add a little dab of hot glue in an area where I have not applied the Heavy Body Gel. This will give it an instant, quick adhesion while the Heavy Body Gel dries. Here's another one of my tips. It also helps to give the back of the resin castings a quick sanding just to create a little more grip. Are you enjoying this project so far? I would love to know in the comments if you would consider creating a framed project like this. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things I've ever done. And while you're here, in addition to your comments, we'd love it if you would go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this video to someone you think would enjoy creating a project like this. As a final touch, I am adding Pentart's Gold Metallic Wax Paste with a scruffy brush to the outside edge of the frame and to those little pomegranate seeds. I am so thankful that you have joined us here today at L&J Goods. I love creating this kind of content for you and hope that each of the projects that we create inspires you to explore your own creativity. We'd love to have you join us on Facebook and the L&J Goods Insider Facebook group. It's a free group where you'll find lots of inspiration using all of the products that we love. And you'll find everything that I used today for these projects listed in the description box below. L&J Goods is a brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York, or you can find us at lnjgoods.com.